Welcome back, fellow passengers. BusyBee here, bubbly as always, joined by hijinx, reluctant as always. This week we're going to dive into the sibling drama of Shannon and Boone. In the meantime, however, trivia. I'm a bit late on this because none of my usual sites told me that this happened way back in October. But Martha Stewart went to jail for 5 months. She was
Do you know why?
found guilty on charges including conspiracy, obstruction, and 2 counts of making false statements.
hmm Do you
After
know
her
what for?
release, I'm gonna get to it. Hold on.
Eh, Okay.
After her release in March of '05, she had 2 years of supervised release, 5 months of which were spent in home confinement. And honestly, most days I wish I were under home confinement. Oh, the amount of media I would consume. Speaking of
Mm.
media, make sure you've watched the most recent episode of Lost, titled Hearts and Minds, because this is Lost State, my podcast. And yes, I do know. I have it right in front of me.
I mean, I could just
There
told you.
was,
Insider trading.
well, yeah. It was Stewart was sentenced to 5 months in prison after being convicted of felony charges related to the I'm clone or im clone, however you want to pronounce that, stock trading case.
Insider trading.
Mm.
Yep. She was at the slammer.
And that's, I'm assuming, how her and Snoop Dogg became friends. I have no idea, but
No. Yeah, they met in jail.
sounds legit. So,
So,
hearts and minds. I'm going to do my best to remember what happened in this episode because I watched it like a week and a half ago.
so did I. How can you forget? Yes, this we
I also
finally
have
got.
2 more episodes shoved in the front now.
Well,
So,
and whose fault is that?
mine because I was trying to get these all done before I go to Georgia. So, I'm gonna go visit my mother, and I don't want to be recording while down there.
So Boone and Shannon. Yes, we finally got a background story episode on them,
Mm-hmm.
lurching ever closely to your beloved Hurley.
Oh, so close.
Oh, so close. Still not him.
There.
Anyway, yeah. So explains a lot about their relationship and their dynamic. And I mean, in all reality, it's literally like their whole dynamic in one episode explained beautifully.
It is.
It was actually co-written by Damon and Javi. Um,
Damon?
yeah.
I have Carlton.
There's a Carlton. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It's Carlton. Perdóname.
First of all, I have
Sorry.
the Wikipedia up in front of me because I know I'm going to forget things.
No, I forgot again. Yeah, it was, but I just, it really, I mean, I don't know. As I was watching the episode, I couldn't remember everything that happened in the episode, but as it was going, I was like, it just, it, whatever you were curious about when it came to their weird siblings, as you discover step sibling relationship and why Shannon was the way she was and why
Well, a rotten brat.
Boone is the way he is. I
In
mean,
love
that
with the spoiled rotten
episode,
brat.
well, yeah, though. I mean, he had this habit of always bailing her out, and then on that trip to Australia, finds out that she does it on purpose to get money from him.
Which I'm
And
sure, knowing him, he would have given to her if she had just asked. But no,
to
she tried to
some
make it
ex
seem like her idea.
to some yeah, well, to some extent. And then but then she still gets ripped off by whatever boyfriend. And so in the end, she still ends up being the victim, and he still bails her out no matter what because
Mm-hmm.
he is half in love with her and she knows it and she exploits it. So, but the part of the episode that I actually really like, I obviously am not fond of who they are as people in real life, but I always one of my favorite parts of the series is the Saeed Shannon dynamic because it's so far out of left field.
Mm.
It's like, where in the hell did that hookup come from? Or that, who even you could not put people from two further ends of the planet together. But Saeed is so patient with her, and and she is so reluctant and so doesn't want to help, but then at the same time so wants to prove that she's not wasted space, as her brother keeps reiterating to her. And
Well, she kind of broke his heart. So
well,
this
but I'm
plane trip
talking,
happened immediately after. She's like, let's just go
I
back to
know,
the way things were.
I know, but I'm just saying that, when he gave her that jab, and again, on the island, and she starts to really start to feel, after she's done with her suntan,
Mm,
her sun lotion and all that stuff. And she has the asthma attack, and then she's starting to catch on along with everyone else that, hey, we may be here for a while.
mm-hmm.
And then he called, and he
And she's a
um
little mad that Boone is finding this way to be useful and she's just still sitting there. Sure, he's
yeah.
not bringing back any boar at the moment,
Mhm.
but he's at least trying.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's doing something, even if he's not being successful at it. He's making an effort,
It's the
and
thought that
she's,
counts.
yeah, I mean, he is making an effort, and so that's it's making her look bad, but not just that, she really feels it. And so the fact that Saeed is coming to her, she has this chance to prove herself, but then, she doesn't want to make a fool of herself because she knows her French is limited or whatever. And the fact that Saeed is still like, anything you can do, anything, and so, but then of course, as she's doing the interpretation, and Saeed starts to get frustrated with her, though it's not with her, obviously, like she said, is he's getting frustrated with the crazy French lady.
Mm-hmm.
And it all seems nonsensical. But then we, of course, learned later that it's a French song that she's
Frère
writing the lyrics
Jacques,
of.
frère Jacques.
No, that's German, isn't it? Oh, sure, Jacques of French.
Frère is French for brother.
I don't know. Don't look at me.
Frère Jacques. Dormez-vous, dormez-vous.
Okay.
There
Well,
is a
but
German
that's not
translation
the
of it,
song.
but that's not it.
That's not the song that she's singing, though.
I know. It's like the
Anyway,
only French song I know.
if you sing anything, I'm just assuming French, German right away.
Just because I sing still not. I know it'd be
No, just because that's the language that you
uh
chose to study.
something like Bist du schlafen,
You're right.
Brüder Jean.
It would sound a lot crappier if it was. Star Rocks, by the
Sind
way.
Sie
That's who,
schlafen, sind Sie
when I was trying to
schlafen.
remember the other German. Uh,
Starbucks? Oh, okay.
yes, she
See, we
is
remember
she,
you
and
guys.
she is the keeper of the fuselage archive, or at least she was. I assume she still is. I
Well, she's
couldn't
our
think of
favorite.
one
Sorry, I
of.
play favorites a lot. It's usually who most recently brought me food, but as of right now, it's the person who most recently I'm aware of keeping lost fandom stuff alive.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole Saeed Shannon dynamic I thought was a really cool thing to happen in the Lost First. So
I do like that.
yes.
Now, that whole dream trip experience, that was fun.
Well, it's like the did that didn't that happen to Lost? I mean to Lost, to Locke on his did that happen on his
I
thing or
don't
no? I
think he
can't
had a
remember.
vision quest, but he definitely sent Boone on one after whacking him upside the head.
Yeah, it's like that whole it's like a peyote vision quest thing, yeah. But usually it involves peyote.
It's the islands version.
Yeah, the island version of peyote. But yeah, that was I'd forgotten about that, but as soon as it started happening, I was like, oh wait, because know certain I know that's not how I know that's not what happens to Shannon.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh wait, this is that.
And then at the end where he's like trying to attack Locke and Locke's like, if you had her dead body, where's her blood on you? He's like, here? And then he hears her voice. Is like, huh?
she's, she's right there.
She's alive.
She's
If he
alive.
didn't already have issues, he has more.
Yeah, I was like, seriously, Locke, how crazy do you want Bone to be right now? But yeah, I'd forgotten about the little vision quest thing and bringing out the man. The thing is that did Boone really change after that? That's
He no longer felt the urge to tell his sister about the hatch.
yeah, I mean, but you think he'd become like a wee bit manlier or I don't know, Locke like? Because I mean, anyway, I was just I'm sorry. I know it proved a point to some degree. Yeah, it just kept I got him to keep his mouth shut to Shannon. That
Mm.
I guess that was the purpose. And if that was the only purpose, then I guess it just succeeded.
So, a couple other things happen in the episode. One,
Okay.
Jack's new necklace.
Jack has a new necklace.
There's a key hanging from it.
Oh, for the guns. The gun key.
Mm. I'm like, wow, Jack, you've been on the island for like 2 months now, and everyone knows what your general wardrobe is. They're gonna notice the new necklace.
I'm surprised that Sawyer didn't immediately go,
Mine.
you have the key?
He might have thought the key was lost at sea. He might have thought it was a different key. He's like, what? Why do you have a key around your neck? Is it
I'm
mine?
pretty sure mine.
Mine.
I think yeah, literally Sawyer is definitely those seagulls from Finding Dory.
He's a
I mean
magpie.
finding Nemo. Mine? Mine?
Mine.
He likes the shiny things.
He likes to shiny. He's a mix between the seagulls and magpies.
Oh, thought you were gonna say the seagulls and the crab in the sea. Shiny,
Shiny.
shiny. Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, Tamatoa? Yeah, Tamatoa.
Tamatoa. Yeah.
It's a Moana reference. Um,
Hmm.
now I was gonna say I would combine him with a raven, but I'm pretty sure a raven would have figured out how to break open into a Halliburton.
Turn their beak into a key.
Look, they're really smart. They can find it.
Hmm.
They probably would have figured out that the key's around Jack's neck.
Pecked him in the head until he gave it to him.
Also, Kate knows about Sun now.
Yes. Was that this episode?
Hmm.
Okay, I couldn't remember when the garden was, if it was this one or the one before.
Mm.
Yeah, the fact that Sun smile, I forgot that's how Kate found out. Sun doing the little smile when you
Mm.
understood me.
Oh, no, no,
Whoops,
no,
don't tell
no,
anybody.
no, no.
Everybody's gonna know now.
Everybody up in here.
Everybody, because we all know Kate doesn't have a poker face. Since Jack and Sawyer can read her like a freaking book.
Um, Speaking of which, in one of the next few episodes, I think Kate has improved her poker face, but we'll talk about that later. I have notes for it.
Have
Because
notes.
something totally happens. I was like, she did that on purpose. Um, Lastly, I put a quote down. I haven't put down a quote in a while, but I found it hilarious. I actually had to stop the episode and have the subtitles up just so I could type it word for word. Uh, Trust him. If there was one person on this island I would put my absolute faith in to save us all, it would be John Locke. Charlie.
Oh,
It's
Charlie,
not
you
that I
sweet
trust
young
him.
boy.
He's just gonna save us.
Oh, Charlie, you sweet, naive little boy.
Meow
Yeah.
meow. He's missing Claire, and he really hopes that Locke is gonna find her. So, anything else you want to talk about the episode? Let me scroll through the episode.
Not that I can think of.
Hurley does mention very sternly to Boone. Y'all are going out there every day to hunt, and I know y'all aren't bringing anything back. Meat's getting kind of lean around here. People need to eat. Hurley's very pushing the we need food.
Hurley's the cafeteria monitor.
He is. Oh my goodness.
But
Ian Somerhalder was the first actor cast in the series.
was he? Not know that.
I did not either. I happened to scroll and I saw production stats, and that's the first thing listed. Well, that's really cool. Speaking of which, speaking of Ian Somerhalder and Dominic Monaghan,
Mhm.
this episode comes out on the 14th. Oh, I'm sorry. No. This episode comes out on the 15th. We're recording it on the 14th. Sorry. But last week's episode actually came out on their birthday.
Oh, they have the same birthday.
They have 12/8, and Ian is in 78. Dominic is in 76.
Oh,
Yee, they birthday twinsies.
twinsies.
Hmm. I've missed a couple of them as we're going. Um, doing the best I can. Uh, Emile de Ravens is coming up. It's on the 27th.
Or Emily.
Emily.
Emily
I
DeRaven.
don't know why I always call her Emile in my head.
It's Emily
At least I'm not
DeRaven.
calling her Emerald.
She probably is appreciative of that.
Yep, those are the only December birthdays I have on my list. But it's a very limited list.
Except for Berkey.
Berkey's not on my list, you're right.
December 30th,
December 30th.
1968. Same age
Nice.
as my brother.
Your brother? Alrighty. Anything else we want to talk about, or do we want to switch up to our Oh, one last thing.
Mm.
Hurley steps on an urchin.
Yes. No. Pee on it.
He's like put and just like no.
And he's pointing at his junk. And he's like, no. Like,
The
no.
one word
No.
Jin has learned is no.
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 Absolutely not.
And then he gives him a whole fish, and Hurley's like, "Oh man, you got this and everything."
Thanks, man. Because Hurley was right. He had taken it as an insult when he wouldn't accept the sea urchin from him previously. And so Hurley was not getting fish. So then Jen gave him a fish.
Last major thing, the compass.
Oh, we're learning about,
How
well, yeah,
everything's a
we're
little
learning,
screwy.
yeah, there's something weird about the island that the magnet, the, that's
Magnetism
mess,
stuff.
yeah, the magnetism for the true north or whatever on the island is wonky. So it messes up doing directions.
Mm-hmm. No, I gotta look up a fact real quick.
Watch you Googling. Watch you Googling.
If they're in the southern hemisphere, wouldn't the compass point to the South Pole?
They're not in the southern hemisphere.
How do they know? We don't know where they're at.
Well, the show is filmed in Hawaii. Oh, but they were in Australia. That's true, which is the southern hemisphere. I mean, they were in Sydney, technically, flying to LA, but we don't know where in between the plane allegedly went down. So, yeah, I guess it would depend.
So either way, it'd be screwy. I wonder how bad compasses get near the equator.
Just gonna look something up too, but what was it? Okay, that's good. All right. What's up next?
Says they'll point north and south, but interesting. Let's talk about the fandom topic, which hijinx has picked out for us this week.
So, I was watching I was binging
Hmm.
a show that I used to love from way back in the early 2000s, and it wasn't Alias or Lost. No, it was before it predated Lost. Um, Show called Crossing Jordan.
Which was about.
Well, the lead character's name was Jordan Kavanaugh. Dr. Jordan Kavanaugh, played by Jill Hennessy, aired for 6 seasons. Um, and it revolved around a uh the mortuary or the dead people department or whatever of Boston, city of Boston. Jill Hennessy played the main character of Dr. Jordan Kavanaugh. It also had Miguel Ferrer. It had uh, Jerry O'Connell,
Ooh, I know that one.
he played Woody, who was a cop and then he became detective. He was in all 6 seasons. Um, there's a couple other Catherine, what's her face, is in it as well. A lot of great actors. Oh, I love the show. Found it on Peacock. I was so excited. They have all 6 seasons on there if you want to watch it. Just, I highly recommend it. Anyway, Damon Lindelof started out on this show as a story editor, and then he moved up to what was this? Executive story editor, and then he became a co-producer, which means he actually started writing some of the episodes. So he was on it for 3 seasons, the first 3 seasons of the show. So he wrote some episodes. I think this was, if I'm pretty sure this was his first writing gig, if I remember correctly. Though I mean, I know that he worked with Carlton at some point. I don't remember where though.
I can look that up while you talk.
Well, I know Carlton was on Nash Bridges, but I can't remember if but I'm thinking that's where Greg Nations knew him from. Greg Nations was the story editor, the person, the keeper of the lost Bible, of keeping all the continuum, making sure all the ducks were in a row, making sure everything was straight. Is the only way to put it. Making sure all the scripts were canon, not canceling each other out.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's what Damon did for Crossing Jordan. The first, he was a story editor. He kept up with all that kind of stuff. Liz Sarnoff was also worked on Crossing Jordan. She's another kind of writer in the TV world that people have heard of. Oh, she was right there with Damon. But anyway, the thing I wanted to bring up is that it was either season 2 or season 3. I think season 3 because it was an episode. I think it was even an episode Damon wrote. Jordan took a flight on Oceanic Airlines, and I almost hit the floor because this would have been 2001 to 2 would have been the first season. So 2002 to 2003 would be second season. 2003 2004 would have been third season. Like I said, I can't remember if it was 2000. I don't remember if it was the second or third season when I was watching it. I was like, did they say Oceanic Airlines? It was
Mm,
funny. I was looking before we started airing. I checked on Lostpedia to see if they ever mentioned that that's where Damon got it from. And according to Lostpedia, and they don't know everything. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff they don't know. It says that the only thing they put in here is according to Damon Lindelof in an interview, although the creators of Lost intended the name Oceanic Airlines to be original, they later discovered that the fictional airline had already been used in previous works. So, I mean, he should have known that it was used in Crossing Jordan. Like I said, it might have even, I don't know if it was actually used in one of his episodes, but um, like I said, there's a couple of different there's a couple of different shows that have used Oceanic. But anyway, that was the earliest that I mean, that would have been, like I said, around 2003 or so that was used. So I thought that
Nice.
was
I
very,
figured
but
out what
there's,
they knew each other from.
what?
Nash Bridges.
It was Nash Bridges. Okay. So
Yep.
that's where Greg Dayshit's was from too. So,
So it shows that they met during the sixth season of Nash Bridges. Cuse hired Lindelof, giving him his first staff writer job on the television series.
what year was that?
Here's
Did it say?
the sixth season, and it started in '96.
Okay. So he
Probably the
must have gone
last
to,
season then.
so he probably came to, so yeah, Crossing Jordan must have been after that.
Oh yeah, because Nash Bridges went into 2001. Um, so a few years later, Lindelof and Abrams wrote the pilot for Lost.
Yeah.
Lindelof had no experience as a showrunner and called Cuse to in for showrunning advice on the side. His interest in the material and the conviction that he could turn Lost into a long-running series led him to opt out of a lucrative studio deal elsewhere and take job as showrunner. He subsequently
Yeah.
trained Lindelof to be his co-showrunner, and together they led the show for all six season run.
Yeah. Yeah. Damon had never run a show.
They wrote roughly a third of the episodes together.
Yeah. Yeah. So Damon, like I said, he was on Crossing Jordan from 2001 to yeah, he was on it for 3 seasons. And I think the next thing he got was Lost. He might have been involved with some other like pilots or whatever that did or didn't get picked up. And then he was brought in. There was a whole bunch of people brought in to try to take a pass at the pilot for Lost before JJ got a hold of it. And Damon too, I think. Um, but Damon was not prepared to run a show. He had not been doing it long enough, and that's when he asked Carlton to join him. And because JJ just had too many sticks in the fire, too many irons in the fire, as they say, and
Arms.
was irons. I can pronounce it the way I do.
Um,
Um, he was still had Alias going on, and obviously he wasn't going to be able to. He needed somebody who could steer the ship. Well, because he wasn't going to be able to be there
mhm.
24/7 to run the show. I mean, he could be, tapped on, occasionally or whatever to give his 2 cents, to have a pass on scripts, to direct the pilot,
Mm.
but he wasn't going to be there for as much as people thought he was going to be. I don't know why they did, but he's too busy. He was doing movies and stuff by then.
JJ.
So yeah. So
He
that's why
switched
Damon,
to do Mission Impossible 3. That's why he
yeah,
left and they had to get Cuse.
yeah. So yeah, Damon just wasn't ready to do the show by himself. So, yep. Anyway, but I thought the Oceanic thing was fun. I did not know it was in Crossing Jordan.
Mm. All right. Is there anything
Was
else we
that a
want to?
lightning storm?
No, that was my husband, Junior, messing with me.
Nope, that was the main thing. I just thought it was cool.
Nice. I'm double checking all of our analytics and stuff.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm not as active on our X or Instagram as I would like to be, but I'm always busy because I'm a
What is that where your
busybee.
name came from?
Yes.
Well, we're still kind of getting our feet wet in all this.
My my name comes from the fact that my husband is a part of a group where they all have ride names because we have motorcycles. And they never saw me really, except on like once or twice a year. They're like, "What are we gonna call you?" And you know what? Busy Bee worked. because I couldn't put a naughty word on the patches. The B is supposed to be one letter, usually. So yeah, we mostly decided that since no one ever saw me, Busy Bee was fairly appropriate. And then I got a new job where they could actually see me again. But my
Why why
helmet is
why
yellow
weren't
and
you
has black antenna
why weren't you in BusyBee?
because I was busy.
I th you're more invisible.
I'm still there, just not there. I was in a different there.
You're
Still very
invisible.
much tangible.
Alrighty.
Not much has popped up. We've for some reason our uh our impressions has grown for Spotify as of last week. There are 39 impressions in one day
Ooh.
for no reason. The episode was published 4 days later because I was behind on the times.
It's my grand dog.
Grandpuppers. What?
Grand doggy.
Junior has to go
Oh.
buy green bean casserole stuff now for me to make. Yay! Alrighty, if that's all we have, then we will see you guys next episode, which we're not recording tonight. We're probably going to record tomorrow and the episode
Yes.
after that.
And I'll be ready.
She will
I'll be ready.
be. For once, I'm the one ahead.
You will be.
Mostly
You
because there was a
will.
miscommunication
You
somehow.
will be.
Yeah, you.
You will be.
No, I haven't seen your super suit. No, I don't know your Cuse.
Where's my super suit?
We've already done that quote today. We are going to
Not
Menards.
with me. Where's my
Entrance.
super suit?
Yep.
Who?
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this lovely flight. I will be dragging her back again for the next 2 episodes. And I'm going to go forcibly go attack her. I leave in 1 week.
In person.
In person! By the time you guys are listening to this episode, in 1 week, exactly from that, I'll be visiting my mother and tackling her. And an episode will go out that day. Except we will have recorded it like 2 weeks in advance. Yeah,
Grand doggy.
I don't feel like editing
Oh.
while down
Oh.
there. She's howling at my dog. See,
My grand
see,
dog.
folks. Normally, I have a like screensaver background green
Oh.
screen thing going on behind me. I was too lazy to put up the island theme, so I'd have palm branches waving in the back. So she keeps seeing my dog walk behind me to go look outside the window. And there's Bristow. Who's them muffin chops? Muffin loaves. Loaf chops. He got 'em big. Alrighty, we're gonna sign off. Thank you for joining us, and good night, good morning, whatever it is for you.
See ya.